Hi there, I'm Joel Gerschman, co-founder of Digital Autopilot. I'm excited to share this video with you. This is a segment taken from our e-commerce growth engine course on how to drive more traffic, conversions, and profit from your e-commerce business. To access the full course, click on the link in the description below or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Really hope you enjoy. Hi, and welcome to the next video in Module 1, Discovery and Focus. By now, you've set some goals for your business. Well done, that's your first critical step. But now it's time to assess how you're currently tracking against those goals. What does your current reality look like? And that means delving more deeply into two key areas. Number one, it means looking at your growth, which is all about your sales and marketing results. How are you tracking in that area? And number two, your financial management. In other words, what does your current profit margin look like? Are you profitable? We're going to look at that as well. Let's start by exploring your current levels of growth. And to help you analyze your current growth results, we're going to start by reviewing your past year's sales and marketing data. And to do that, we're going to use a template in the current reality tab of your growth plan. Now, this template, which looks like this, is intended to help you summarize your past year's sales and marketing results. And you'll see, for example, down the left-hand side, it asks you to record your total sales and to do that right across the calendar year, and will give you a total at the end. And likewise, as you move down, it'll ask you for your total orders, your total online sessions or visits to your site, your average order value, your best-selling product, your second best-selling product, and so on right down the list, including your data around various marketing channels. Like, for example, if you're doing Google Ads, it asks for your Google ad spend and your return on ad spend, or your Facebook marketing spend if you're using Facebook, and your return on Facebook marketing spend. Obviously, if you're not currently using those channels to market your products, then you can leave those sections out. Now, you should be able to access this data from a combination of your accounting system, your e-commerce platform. So, for example, if you're using Shopify or WooCommerce, you should be able to glean most of this data from there. And if you're doing marketing, you should be able to get that from your various marketing platforms like Google or Facebook. And then this is your very first step. Let's gather together your current sales and marketing data so we have a picture of how you've tracked over the last year. This is critical because it will help us compare this against your goals. The second key area to focus on is your financial management, and in particular, your profit margins. Now, it's not enough to just generate sales. Obviously, that's critical and important, but you need profitable sales, and that means a healthy gross profit margin. Now, to analyze your gross profit, you're going to review your current profit margins using what we call the profit calculator. And you can find that in the profit calculator tab of your growth plan. Here's what that template looks like. And you'll see that this template is actually for a single product. Now, obviously, if you have multiple products, it's worth doing this for all of your products. If you have a significant number of products, then at least start with your best-selling lines. And what it will do is really help us create a baseline for your profit margins so we know where you're holding right now. And if you have a look at the template, you'll see that it's going to ask you a range of things. The areas that are in orange are the areas that you can fill out based on your specific business and your specific product line. And you'll see that it will start by asking you for your units of product and units of quantity expensed. So what that's really saying is as follows. The units of product is really when you make a bulk purchase of that particular product, how many units come in that bulk purchase? For example, let's call it 1,000, right? And then when you create a particular production run, you don't necessarily produce all of those products at once, right? You might do a run of a certain number. In this case, let's assume it's 500. That would be your quantity, units of quantity expensed. And then as you move down, it'll ask you for various things, how much your actual product costs are, postage, if you pay for postage to customers, and then a range of other components. It'll ask you for how much tissue paper you use per unit, plastic bags per unit, stickers per unit, international fees, etc. Right down to the number of staff required to put together a given unit of your product, right? And it doesn't stop there at the number of staff, but it'll ask you for the wage input. So that's asking you for what percentage of an hour of that person's time is required to put together that product. So in this case, we're assuming it's 0.25. Okay. And what that then does is it computes how much wage input, how much are you spending on wages to put together a given product. That requires you also to fill out down the very bottom your wage cost per hour. So in this case, we're assuming it's $40 per hour. That may not be the case for you, but what that means is if there's one staff member and it's taking 0.25% of an hour and their wage cost is $40, then the result is $10 of wage cost to put together a given product. Okay. And then as you move down here, you'll see that with the packaging, it'll ask you for various numbers around, tissue paper costs and plastic bag costs and sticker costs. If you don't have those for your product, then obviously you can leave them out. If you have others, then you can add them in here. Okay, and ultimately what it will produce is a summary where it will record your variable cost per unit. In this case, our sample says $47.07. It'll record your margin, profit margin. That will also require you to put in your revenue per unit. So that's how much you're actually selling the product for. And ultimately, it will spit out a profit per unit, which in this case is $52.93. Okay. And what this does is it really creates a baseline for where you're holding right now in terms of your profit margins. And it should cause you to start to ask really critical questions like, is the margin healthy enough? Right? Especially considering all of your other business expenses. Is there anything that you can be doing to easily reduce costs? Right? Do you perhaps need to alter your pricing? Maybe your pricing's too low. Those are really critical questions because even though the focus of this course is on growth, there's no point growing if you're not making a healthy profit at the end of the day. Okay, and that really sums up that second key area, your financial management, and in particular, your profit margins. And so here are your actions from now. Number one, gather your past year's sales and marketing data and use it to complete the template in the current reality tab of your growth plan. That's step one. Step two is complete the profit calculator and do that for all your products, or at the very least, if you've got lots of products, your best-selling lines. And then finally, consider any revisions to your cost base and or pricing based on the analysis. There you go. Those are your key steps. Good luck, and let us know if you have any questions. I really hope you enjoyed this training video. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share with others so they can benefit too. And to access the full e-commerce growth engine course, just click on the link in the description below. Good luck growing your e-commerce business.